In the headlines, Vigilante group arrests man with 8 guns at Zuba Motor Park in Abuja. INEC says e-transmission of election results has come to stay and is set to partner Media Trust Group on issue-based politicking. Respect for consumers as electricity workers agree to suspend strike. On the foreign scene, death toll from Kabul mosque explosion rises to 21. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Nten Ekpang. And on the news in full, members of the Vigilante group attached to the Zuba Motor Park in Abuja on Wednesday arrested a man with 8 guns billed for delivery to Kano. Commander of the group in the area, Yahaya Madaki, who confirmed the arrest, said the suspect arrived at the roadside park near a filling station formerly known as Dan Kogi in the town around 2 p.m. looking for a vehicle bound for Kano. He added that 5 AK-47 rifles and pump-action guns were discovered after opening the parcel the man had. The divisional police officer in charge of Zuba, CSP Osop Moses, was said to have personally led his men to the location to arrest the suspect. Kaduna State government says troops of Operation Forest Sanity in the early hours of Tuesday carried out a raid in the Kuriga and Manuni communities of Chikun local government area and rescued 6 people. The Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, in a statement on Wednesday said the troops made contact and engaged the bandits at the suspected enclave. He said after clearing the camp, the troops rescued 6 kidnapped persons who were held at the location. The rescued persons have been safely reunited with their families. The Commissioner further stated that the Kaduna State government had conveyed its appreciation to the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, the General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, and the Director General, Department of State Services for the ongoing wave of onslaughts against criminal enclaves. Bauchi Police Command has again warned against acts capable of breaching the peace of the state, saying that anyone found wanting will be dealt with according to the law. The police public relations officer Ahmed Wakil disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV on the recent killing of a teenager by Hell Laverin Al-Kaleri local government area of the state. Adamu Imam completes that story.
The accused person were arrested at Mayari village after a report to the divisional police headquarters in Al-Kaleri local government area that a 13-year-old girl has been missing. The suspects were immediately arrested and interrogated, where one of the suspects confessed to have killed the 13-year-old.
The woman that procured the abortion and the mother will be charged for conspiracy, while the 2 principal suspects, Ado and Mukaila Ado and Muazu, will be charged for culpable homicide, section 221 of the Criminal Code procedure.
Both residents, however, lamented on the incident, describing it as barbaric, sad and unfortunate. They call on parents to always be vigilant and keep a watch on their children at all times amidst the dwindling state of insecurity.
That is why sometimes people are calling to the entire community, the general community, that they should be always monitoring their watch, especially female or girl children.
What this portends is that the incessant occurrence of this kind of incidences in Bauchi State in the recent past raised serious high hopes as to the security and safety of minors or children, particularly in Bauchi State. For whatever reason the perpetrators of those acts are doing so, the authorities should and must find a way of ending it.
This is a very unfortunate and pathetic incident. The state authorities need to address these atrocious acts.
Some community leaders assure the security agencies of their support and collaborating to report any unusual activity that can lead to identify criminals in the society. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
A man suspected to be a scrap dealer has died while attempting to steal transformer accessories in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade reports that the lifeless body of the man was seen on the transformer. Residents of the area reported the incident at the Atauja Divisional Police Headquarters. A staff of Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company in Oshogbo, Raji Kolade, told the police that the deceased attempted to vandalize the transformer before he was electrocuted. The public relations officer for Osun State MEC, Okbalola, who confirmed the incident, said the corpse has been deposited in the mortuary at the state hospital. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, on Wednesday promised that the results of the 2023 general elections will be transmitted electronically. Speaking on Wednesday in Abuja when he hosted a delegation of Media Trust Group on election debate, Yakubu said the transmission of election results from the polling units will be a permanent feature in the nation's electoral processes. INEC says it will support and partner the Media Trust Group to deepen issue-based politicking ahead of the 2023 elections. Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Leader of the Media Trust Group's Election Debate Committee, Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, says the essence of the visit is to seek the support and participation of the electoral management body in its consistent drive in promoting issue-based politics in Nigeria.
We are planning a number of specific interventions that relate to making the campaign the central fulcrum around which issues will emerge, on which voters will take their decisions of which parties and which candidates to support.
Responding to the request, INEC National Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu applauded the initiative, which he says is aligned with the Commission's desire to entrench an issue-based politics in the nation's democratic environment.
We welcome your involvement in election debate, precisely because of what Dr. Ibrahim said, the question of issue-based politics, which is central to electoral democracy.
The chairman of the electoral management body appreciated the Trust media platforms for what he described as objective and professional coverage of the Commission and the overall electoral process.
We appreciate the Trust for your objective and professional coverage of INEC and our activities, but also of the electoral process generally. I think I should put it on record, appreciation to the Trust.
There was a robust closed-door engagement between the two parties on contemporary and emerging threats to Nigeria's electoral democracy. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, the NGF, has criticized the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, describing his recent claims and actions over the $418 million Paris refund as fraudulent and self-serving. Speaking to newsmen after a meeting, Chairman of the Forum said the Forum will take every constitutional and legal means to ensure that the purported consultancies are fully litigated by the Supreme Court. The NGF chairman insisted that there is no liability by the states and only the courts can determine if the NGF states are indeed liable. The forum has set up a committee comprising the chairman, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, and Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State to interface with the committee set up by Mr. President to review the matter. Minister of Justice had days ago stated that the governors had no basis to reject the proposed deductions of $418 million from the Paris Club refund because they had been indemnified and considered that such payments be made to the consultants. Now, the cost of carrying out the forensic audit of contracts awarded in the Niger Delta region continues to rise as the Federal Executive Council approved an additional 765.97 million naira for the project. Minister of the Niger Delta revealed this to newsmen at the State House, Abuja, after the weekly meeting of the cabinet. The amount, he said, will cover the additional works done by the forensic auditors. Kehinde Amodu reports.
For the forensic audit, a lead consultant was appointed to work with 16 other field auditors at a total contract sum of 1.786 billion naira. The project has since been concluded, but in the course of carrying out the work, the auditors had to deal with many more projects than were initially envisaged.
The exercise also took an additional 7 months. The total number of additional projects considered by the auditors was 3,773. So for reasons of the additional number of projects and the additional time taken, Council today approved a revised additional sum of 765,974,975 naira 50 kobo.
Meanwhile, another project which has accrued additional cost is the compensation and resettlement of communities affected by the construction of the 700 megawatt Zungeru hydroelectric power project.
The total sum of 2,740 million naira, which will revise the subsisting amount from 19,640 million naira to 22,380 million naira.
Nigerians are concerned about the dip in power supply in recent times, despite promises made by the power minister that the country would be able to generate and maintain 5,000 megawatts of power from the 1st of July.
We've gone very far with that, and I believe it's for that reason that we're able to reach up to 4,600 as of yesterday. In the morning, this morning, it dropped to 4,100. So this is what is happening. You will be experiencing this fluctuation due to all these issues around gas to power, because gas is not something that we control directly. You have to pay them. You have to pay gas. They will not give you gas until you pay. So we are looking at ways to solve that issue. It is the reason why we are unable to reach that 5,000 we promised you by July 1st of this year.
Minister of Information Lai Mohammed is also addressing the issue of the growing inflation rate in the country. The minister gave assurances that government was trying to find its domestic means of stemming inflation. A solution to the global phenomenon varied from government to government. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has summoned officials of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development over the 18.9 billion naira contract awarded for land preparation, bush clearing and others during the COVID-19 lockdown. Chairman of the committee, Wole Oke, disclosed this at the resumed investigative hearing of the committee with ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government based on audit queries by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. Okay said the committee will carry out diligent investigation to find out the location of the project and their importance to the country. Meanwhile, the committee has ordered the Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, to furnish it with the details of 20 companies involved in the contract. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, old train route that defies the odds. Please stay with us.
Now which kind wire you gon' need to light up your light, eh? Oh man, na quality wire. Now which kind cable you gon' need to light up your house, eh? Oh man, na quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman can't. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and be the come and see. Now come and be the Coleman won't light up your line. Now come and be the come and see. Now come and be the COLEMAN. Quality. Durable. Now come and be the Baba.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. A recap of our major stories. Vigilante group arrests man with 8 guns at Zuba Motor Park in Abuja. And INEC says e-transmission of results has come to stay and is set to partner with the Media Trust Group on issue-based campaigns. To other stories now, the National Blood Service Commission, NBSC, has given health facilities a 30-day ultimatum to register their blood bank facilities or with the commission or face sanctions. The acting director general of the agency, Omale Ahmedu, gave the ultimatum Wednesday in Abuja while briefing newsmen on the implementation of the NBSC blood service regulatory policies. He said unregistered blood service posed a health risk to Nigerians. The acting DG said all those involved in the blood business were expected to register with the Commission to ensure appropriate regulation and coordination of safe and quality blood and blood products. He lamented that over 90% of health facilities in Nigeria are still practicing sharp and unsafe blood transfusion practices, exposing people to HIV, hepatitis, syphilis, and others. Electricity workers have agreed to resume work after intervention of Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige. The minister has set up a tripartite committee to resolve the grievances of the electricity workers after an emergency meeting in Abuja. Workers had earlier shut down power installations in the country to demand payment of arrears to workers of the defunct Power Holding Company of Nigeria and improved conditions of service. The action of the workers left consumers in darkness. In Kaduna, members of the National Union of Electricity Employees (NUEE) picketed Mando transmission station which supplies electricity to Kaduna, Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara states. And similarly, the Abuja distribution firm attributed absence of power supply to industrial disputes between workers and Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN). Kano Electricity Distribution Company has told its customers in Katsina and Jigawa states that disruption of supply followed withdrawal of services by the electricity employees.
The issues that we had, I thank the Honorable Minister and the Minister of State for Power for their maturity in handling these issues that were brought up. Yes, these issues could have been tackled earlier on if there was the rightful communication with all parties. But well, as we have said, we've been given 2 weeks to which to report back to the full House. Well, we assure the nation that such crisis will be nipped in the bud before it escalates.
So, operators of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, have arrested the MD and CEO of Marvel Rock Pharmaceuticals and Stores Limited, located here in Abuja, for engaging in sales of illicit and controlled drugs on popular e-commerce platform GGNG. A graduate of business administration from the University of Abuja, Orakwe, registered the pharmaceutical company on 16th of December 2014 with a certificate and support of a licensed pharmacist who opted out of the deal in 2017. A statement from the Director of Media and Advocacy of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, said the suspect continued running the business and enrolled it on gg.ng platform in 2019. The suspect was arrested with some quantities of tramadol and Swifnol brand of Rifnol on Monday, 8 August at a drink joint in Jabi area of Abuja, where he had gone to make some supplies of orders made through his online channel on gg.ng. Now, train shuttle services between Kano and Nguru local government area of Yobe State has continuously sustained century-old trade and commercial relations with the ancient city. However, over time, this major trade route appears to be dying due to lack of maintenance of the locomotives, now operating 3 times a week. In the special report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin travels to the northeastern town of Nguru to examine what remains of the once important train stations in northern Nigeria. The report.
The last remaining train to Guru station from Kano. Bad news arrives that the train will not be coming today for operational challenges.
It's the problem of diesel that led to the suspension. But before then, we are running regularly.
Although disappointed, but not as much as the owner of these goods, who now has to resort to what he called the hard and most expensive way to get his goods to Kano.
The train is fine, as they told us. But there is the problem of diesel. That is why we had to use this truck to transport our goods to Kano.
Guru Rail Station was constructed in 1930 by the colonial administrators, initially transporting agricultural produce to the southern part of the country for exports to the United Kingdom. Many years after the Nigeria's independence, train from Guru maintained local running across many parts of the country, effectively creating jobs and boosting the economy.
This train station is important to us. It used to carry people and goods from Guru to Kano and to other parts of Nigeria, and it also creating jobs for our people. This is an old train station that is used to be called Guru Terminus, from where we transport livestock, agricultural produce, granite, and so on to several countries of the world.
Some 30 years ago, this place is considered as a hub of trading activities. Train from different parts of the country do come here on daily basis. As of today, there is only one train coming here from Kano and going back to Kano from this place. And even that train, authorities are telling us, does not belong to Nguru station. It was borrowed from Mina, Niger State. Now, as of today, there is only few coaches existing in this place. The station is almost gone. There is nothing remained here. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
Fake and substandard products can be found in almost every category of goods, ranging from drugs, electrical and electronics appliances, and spare parts, among others. In this report, Kabul finds out how substandard product menace in the country has crippled some business activities and caused producers to reduce the quality of their products. The report.
So this is what I have in my office. So with this, any form of substandard can be traced in this machine.
Substandard products are simply out of specification products. They are always below the regulatory standard set for making such products. A cross-section of dealers of both spare parts and electrical appliances are called on government and other stakeholders to sensitize the public, especially those in the rural communities, on which goods to buy and how to confirm their authenticity. Uche Nwosu, who sells electrical appliances, wants the government to tighten checks on imported goods at the ports before they are distributed in order to stem the steady influx of substandard tires, spare parts, and drugs in the country.
This side of the country, because of the porousness and also nonchalant attitude of those who are in the hem of their affairs, that allow anything to flow into the country. So that is where you talk about substandard and standard products. And I think the only way we can checkmate this issue of substandard is from the entry point, because sometimes they allow some of all these things to come into the market, to enter into the market, and before you know it, people who are not, people who are ignorant of those substandard, you will see them buying it. And as a result of that, that is where you have some fire outbreak here and there. But in this market anyway, we have a measure that we put in place to checkmate some of all these substandard. And if we are culpable, we have our internal mechanism, how we deal with those that are found guilty.
A spare part dealer, Ezekiel Ernest, is of the opinion that there is every chance a substandard product may not just bore a hole in one's pocket, but can also be dangerous physically.
We are dealing with quality products. Many of us export from China direct, and we are giving the best products in Apo here. You know, like foot mats. Let's come chop foot mats. We identify original foot mats. It can last for you 4 to 5 years in your vehicle. But when you come to all these fake ones, before 1 to 6 months, you start breaking. Do you understand? Some protector.
He added that to understand what constitutes substandard products and find out how they turn out to be a menace to society, people need to appreciate the value of standards and important they are to the society. Kabir Lowell, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On the foreign scene, police in Afghanistan say the death toll from a mosque bombing in Kabul has risen to 21. Kabul police spokesman Khalid Zadran said in a statement on Thursday that the explosion that occurred on Wednesday during the prayers left 33 people injured and 5 of the wounded were children. And with that, we conclude News Update on Trust TV this hour. For more, do connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Nten Ekpang. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.